Hi, I just want to start by saying that I am not afraid to break the rules. I just so happen to think that rules are what makes games fun. I like Pictionary because you can't use words or symbols to convey your meaning. I draw a racket in ocean waves. You guess Tennessee, and we bask in our glory. So in high school, I had no problem following the rules. I always came home before curfew. I never smoked weed in basements. I never drank at house parties, and I never touched boys. Not that they were trying, but. So it wasn't until I graduated high school that I was beginning to regret my good behavior. I was facing life without rules, going off to college, and I was regretting not breaking any of them. So I called up my friends in need of adventure, Skye, the oldest of 8, stuck in a perpetual babysitting paradox, and Meggie, who did whatever Skye did, and asked them to go on an adventure with me. So we told my parents that we were going shopping and got into our car and drove from our city in Iowa to Chicago for Pitchfork Music Festival. Armed with Hawkeye vodka inside of water bottles, we watched some of our favorite bands. I saw a man next to me. He was inhaling smoke coming out of a tube from his backpack. And he was polite enough to offer me some, but being the responsible drunk teenager I was, I politely declined. After the show, we walked to Oak Street Beach, and we quickly disrobed and ran naked into Lake Michigan. For the first 5 seconds, we pretended we were having fun. And up to our shoulders, we decided we had fulfilled the quota to say that we could have, so we could say we went skinny dipping. We did it, we got out of the water, and we kind of did like this strange interpretive dance where we were trying to shamefully put our dry sundresses back onto our wet bodies before anyone could see our shame. And then we set it off into the city. Skye and Meggie had decided that they were gonna get belly button piercings while we were in the city. I decided I could not get a belly button piercing. I definitely couldn't go home with a belly button piercing, but I would get a piercing. So I'm sitting on a Chicago sidewalk at midnight, and I'm feeling this great wave of warmth wash over me as I took 2 big gulps of Hawkeye vodka, blindly reaching for the blue Gatorade chaser I had left in the gutter. Filled with cheap spirits and false courage, we walked into the parlor. The man behind the counter was completely unfazed by inebriated teenagers and showed us into the back room. I was an even-keeled doula, coaching Skye and Meggie through their belly button piercings, holding their hands, telling them to imagine their happy place, that it would all be over soon. Moments later, they were both looking down at their bellies, proud new mothers of belly button bling. And I sat down in the chair, and the man said he would be back with his other equipment for my piercing. And when he walked back into the room, he was holding what I can only describe as nipple clamps, because that's what they were. You see, I couldn't get a belly button piercing because my parents would see the belly button piercing. But I felt fairly certain I could go the rest of the summer without exposing my breasts to my father. So belly button piercing was breaking the rules. Nipple piercings were the perfect loophole. I had also been looking at a lot of goth Lolita pinup fairy art on DeviantArt, where I'd been keeping my anime fan art collection well curated, mind you. And so I took a deep breath. Skye and Meggie each grabbed one of my hands. Skye telling me the encouraging words of, "Emerald, you're fucking insane. I can't believe you're doing this." Meggie squeezing my hand and saying, "I'm sorry, but I'm turning away because I can't watch." With the encouragement of my friends, I left that parlor with 2 more holes than I walked in with. Feeling a little traumatized and a little exhausted from the ordeal, they tucked me into the back seat of the car. I fell asleep dreaming of all the new opportunities that these nipple piercings would afford me. When I awoke, the car was stationary and Meggie was tapping on the window. "What is it?" "We're lost," she said. "Where are we?" "It's bad," she said. "Where are we?" "Wisconsin." My two beautiful girls were so great for adventure and so terrible with directions. So with sore areolas and a budding hangover, I took to the captain's seat and guided us back to our homeland. It was dawn when we rolled up to my childhood home, and I was filled with a new rebellious spirit and the courage I needed to go off to college, because I knew I would be one of, if not the coolest, virgin with nipple piercings that Iowa State University had ever seen.